This is one of those rare occasions where a beautiful restored classic two-stroke actually runs better than it looks. This thing is absolutely ridiculously fast. Warm up a little bit, then we're going to let her eat.
Senior's feeling the YZ. Do a whole shot.
It's hooking up too good, it won't spin.
What?
The 500 I can do a whole shot a lot easier in third because it spins, you know? Okay.
Hey, do you need me to show you how to do a second gear start on the 250?
I don't know what's wrong, man.
What do you think?
Well, as much as I said, this thing is a absolutely stunning bike. It runs just as good as it looks, and the brakes are on point. Front brakes, so it'll do a stoppie, no problem. Front and rear brakes are a 10 on this thing, and she's pretty much ready to roll to the line at the AHMRA Nationals. If you have any questions about it, give us a call. Thanks for watching. God bless America. What's happening, guys? I've got a real treat for you today. This is a one-of-a-kind 1993 Yamaha YZ250 two-stroke. This thing is an absolute screamer. Instead of calling it just nasty, this one's McNasty. Started its restoration over at McNasty Customs. He took it about 90% of the way there. We took it over the finish line. This is a full frame-off restoration with a performance motor build designed to win AHMRA Nationals, and this thing absolutely can, right out of the box the way it is right now. Let me start with the frame. Let's start with the foundation. McNasty Customs, all his bikes, he picked ones at Primo Frames. Look at the frame bottoms on this bike. This is a bike that's never been cased on a triple or raced off-road in the woods. The frame is absolutely pristine. Some of the powder coatings chipping off the bottom of the frame, as you'd expect from a bike that's been, bounced on and off the frame, off of the stand 100 times. But there's not a single dent on the bottom of this frame, which is what I look for. Got to have a solid foundation. The frame on this bike is pristine. 93 was a great year in motocross. Yamaha had this kick-ass 93 YZ250. Honda had their CR250, which was awesome. McGrath actually raced the 93 frame till 96. And I can tell you straight up, this bike right here can compete against a new four-stroke. Put the right expert, and I'm not talking amateur level, I'm talking local AMA pro level here in New England at NESC. I've seen it happen a dozen times. Put one of the fast riders on a vintage 90s 252 stroke, and they will wax they allow them to run it with the 254 strokes, and they'll run up front or wax them. It all depends on the rider. This has the power to compete at today's level. And two strokes weren't outlawed because they weren't the best engine design for off-road racing. In fact, they are. They were outlawed in AMA competition, or first it started in California with the BLM and all the EPA, because you're burning oil with a two-stroke. So they went to the four-stroke, which doesn't burn oil. So it was an environmental thing, and it costs a lot of money to rebuild a four-stroke. The two-strokes are a lot less money to rebuild. And they're a lot lighter, and the power-to-weight ratio is better, and you get more horsepower per cc. Straight up, nothing up for discussion there. A 252 stroke's faster than a 254 stroke on up and on down the line. So let's focus on this bike again. Frame perfect. Started with a mint foundation. Let's talk about the value to do a frame off restoration like this. We'll add it up a little bit later, but starting with the mint frame, which was sandblasted then powder coated, the starting at the front end, it's got a brand new tire, brand new tube. The original rim was in mint shape, so that was remounted on there with a new tube and a new rim lock. The Kayaba forks have been rebuilt. The steering stem and bearings were lubricated, greased, adjusted, and everything was remounted on. Coming to the top, you got a brand new set of bars that have, look at this. Where are you going to find a set of purple anodized Renthal bars? That's a really rare thing to find. And these pink grips are getting really hard to find also, as is the Bruiser 2, period correct, the Bruiser 2 crossbar pad in purple, matching the purple seat. The master cylinder was rebuilt. The throttle cable was replaced, as was the clutch cable. It's got a new Pro Taper lever and perch. Check this out. It's like a $150 upgrade for the Pro Taper full assembly. Again, the master cylinder was rebuilt with new hardware, and a new brake lever was mounted on there. So all your controls are new. Coming to the gas tank, the original gas tank was wet sanded, buffed, and polished, so it has a nice look to it. Usually they turn like a yellowish, just doesn't. It's got new Yamaha shrouds, Yamaha graphics, Yamaha graphics on the side cover, new side number plates, new rear fender, and a new OEM Yamaha seat cover. The rear tire is replaced with a new tire and tube on the original rim. The Delta Box swing arm is in beautiful shape. That's got new graphics on it, and that's been repainted. Has the original YZ branded Masters caliper cover. The original rear brake assembly was completely rebuilt. New pads, new master cylinder rebuild kit. The rear sprocket is in mint condition. It's got a new chain on it. You can see the chain guide is in mint condition, and the swing arm's in pristine shape also, just like the frame was. That was repainted, and a new graphic was put on there. The original pegs are in mint shape, and we'll get into the motor in a second, which is really my favorite part about this bike. I believe this is probably the hardest hitting, fastest 93 250 I've ever ridden, and I've ridden some real fast ones. Junior, is there something you'd like to add about this?
Yeah, I mean, guys, all in all, you got an extremely low hour core bike, likely a sub 20 hour machine, as noted by the frame rails and the original wheel set, which is near perfect. There's no big dents or dings, and that, a good core bike, they got a complete cosmetic and mechanical refresh, and now it's ready for the races. So you were talking about the cost of doing a refresh like this, and I think our ticket combined with McNasty's is north of $6,000.
Well, actually, our ticket was, our work order was $2,800. I don't know how much McNasty had into it, but I'm sure he had at least 40 hours labor doing a frame off. It was a roller when we got it back, so there's no way you can get a restoration done like this on a bike anywhere for less than $6,000. I would value the restoration on this bike somewhere in the $7,000 to $8,000 range, parts and labor. At $90 an hour, it adds up quick, and it's not hard to put 50 to 80 hours in a restoration like that, and then you got all the parts. So even 100 hours is uncommon. On Junior's 89 CR 500, we put 150 hours of labor into that. And that was a full frame off race rebuild. So back to this bike here, starting at the engine cases were dismantled, bead blasted and repainted, the original factory silver. You can see a lot of the hardware is new on there. The engine was rebuilt, has all new gaskets and seals. The top end tested at, I have to grab the work order, but I think it was 205 PSI. It's extremely high compression. The piston rings, everything is new in the motor. The shifter is new. The exhaust system is a FMF Gold Series gnarly exhaust with an FMF Power Core 2 turbine exhaust baffle. You can see Power Core 2. Check out the graphics on the back, got a little American flag on there. The Gold Series gnarly pipe. The original pegs are intact and in good condition. The aluminum shifter, what was polished, has a nice shine to it. The original brake lever and kicker are in good shape. When we got the bike running, after we put it all back together, it just wasn't carbureted quite right. And this year, Yamaha carb, I'm not sure if they were notorious for not being jetted perfectly from the factory or whatever, but we just got frustrated with the jetting, so we upgraded it to a 38 millimeter Keihin carburetor. Take a look at that carburetor. If it looks familiar, that's the same exact carburetor that came stock on the Honda CR500. And the jets are similar to what you'd have in the CR500. I don't have the jetting specs in front of me, but this thing hits hard, hits early, and revs late, and it's got power everywhere, and it sounds like a freight train. It just sounds incredible, as you'll have noted from the riding portion of the video. This is one fast 250, 205 PSI compression, the oversized 38 millimeter carb. The reed valves in motor, everything in it is new or like new, and the FMF gnarly exhaust is sealed perfectly, so it barks. C-Cycle rebuilt the suspension. They're were one of the best suspension service companies in New England, and they had done the shocks previously. So just a total nut and bolt restoration.
Not really, you hit the nail on the head, Pops.
All right, let's go over the work order with you. We had a total of 23 and a quarter hours labor, between 12.75 hours in the service department and 10.5 in the detail shop. The bike was steam clean when it came in. It was just a little bit dusty, but we like to clean everything perfectly on the bikes. We took the wheels off and put those in our tank and did the vapor blasting process on them. They really clean them up super nice. The ignition and the clutch covers were repainted. The frame was touched up on the side rails a little bit. The brake master cylinders, the front and rear were painted. We removed the tank, wet sanded and buffed it. Again, 10.5 hours in the detail shop. The service department, compression tested at a perfect 205 PSI, and my memory was good. They cleaned the carb, had some issues with the jetting on it, and ultimately upgraded to the Keihin carb. They went through the whole jetting process on that, and it's jetted perfectly. The air filter was brand new. They just took it out and oiled it, make sure it was oiled enough and well. It has a brand new chain on it. They changed the transmission fluid, drained the tanker, and replaced the gas with VP mixed at 32:1. That's all we run in our bikes, VP racer fuel, just to standardize, so there's no issues with that. Take a look at those radiators up close. You're going to see they're special aluminum, oversized radiators that are definitely an upgrade from the stock ones. The radiators are beautiful on this bike. It has a new exhaust mounts on it, and if you look at the way that exhaust system matches to the head, the Gold Series gnarly really takes it to another level. Has new engine mount bolts, new flywheel cover gasket on it, new Dunlop tires front and rear, bled and flush the brakes front and rear, replaced the reservoir screws, and I almost forgot to mention, we also installed a new crank seal on the bike also, and a brand new clutch pack. So it's got a brand new clutch, brand new crank seals, the top end's been done, new exhaust, new carb, new air filter, basically completely rebuilt the motor. Some of it we did, some of it McNasty did. We did the crank seals and the clutch, and the new carb to take it to the next level. Adjusted the throttle cable, also put a new fuel petcock on it. Take a look at that, and new fuel lines and a new front brake lever. So our parts list came out to $593 plus 23 and a quarter hours labor. The total was $2,814. We charged $90 an hour, and that was for a bike that was largely already completed by McNasty. So this is a full frame up $6,000 plus restoration on a pristine original. And you know, sometimes the sum of the parts doesn't equal the total. I don't know if I'm saying it the right way, but sometimes you go through all this work and they're still not that good. I hate to say it, but it's true. But sometimes you get once in a blue moon, you get a bike that is just perfect. And I rode this bike, and the engine, the power on this thing is just phenomenal. I think you've noted that. You'll have noted that in the riding portion of the video. This thing straight up barks, and it's a lot of fun to ride, and that's what it's all about. Whether you're going out to try to embarrass the guys on their new, brand new $12,000 four-strokes that aren't going to be worth diddly squat in 5 years, or you're buying this to bring to vintage events or display in your museum, know this. This is one powerful 93 YZ250 that has got all the right components, the right carb, the right air cleaner, the right reeds, the piston, everything, exhaust, everything on the bike's mint, the gearing, it hauls the mail. So good luck bidding on this classic. Buy this with confidence. This is Kaplan America approved. I'd sell this to any of my friends out there who want to buy this bike. Buy it. It's perfect. It's a kick-ass machine. You'll be happy. And once it's gone, good luck. You're not going to find another one. They're just not out there. Have you even seen another 93 250 done up like this? Nope. I haven't. Nope. It's the first. So now this is an evolution class motocross bike. The prices on these are starting to go through the roof for a lot of different reasons. One, most of them got ridden into the ground. Two, they're badass. And three, they're a lot of fun, and they're a good investment. So if you want to get into vintage racing with a kick-ass machine, look no farther, folks. Click the buy it now. Once she's gone, it's gone forever, and we ain't getting another one.
Guys, if you have questions about shipping or the bike, call us on the shop line, 860-454-7024. Or if you have a YZ or another motocross bike that you want to get appraised, go on kaplancycles.com, where we're now offering a new appraisal service on all classic motorcycles.
She's beautiful, fast and fun, guaranteed to put a smile on your face, guaranteed to please. This bike speaks for itself. I said enough. Good luck bidding, and God bless America.